Israel's military has launched strikes on eastern Lebanon as IDF claims to strike nearly 230 targets in Gaza and Lebanon over the past 24 hours. IDF says over 200 Hezbollah targets, including rocket launchers and anti-tank positions, were attacked in Lebanon, and dozens of Hezbollah gunmen were killed in clashes with Israeli troops. Thousands of Cubans, led by President Miguel Diaz-Canel and other leaders of the communist-run island, marched in Havana to express solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza. The demonstrators, including some 250 Palestinian medical students living in Cuba, carried a large banner that read "Long live Free Palestine," while the president and his allies wore traditional keffiyeh scarves. The march had been due to take place on the anniversary of the October 7th Hamas attack anniversary on Israel, but it was postponed due to Hurricane Milton, which lashed Cuba and Florida last week. United Nations has said that the second round of the polio vaccination campaign has begun in the central area of the Gaza Strip. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs said that in less than 2 weeks, UNRWA aims to vaccinate around 590,000 children under 10 years of age with the second dose of the novel oral polio vaccination. This follows a first round which was implemented from 1st to 12th September, vaccinating approximately 560,000 children. As with the first round, the second round is expected to have 3 phases, with each involving 3 campaign days and 1 catch-up day. During a ceremony celebrating the 45th anniversary of the Nicaraguan police, President Daniel Ortega lashed out at Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, calling him the son of the devil for the war in Gaza and compared him to Adolf Hitler. This comes 3 days after Nicaragua announced the break of diplomatic relations with the Hebrew state, calling the Israeli government fascist and genocidal. The head of Iran's Revolutionary Guard's elite force has appeared in television footage aired by Iranian state media on Tuesday following conflicting reports about his whereabouts. General Ismail Qani, who leads the Quds force, was seen in a black bomber jacket wiping away tears at an event early Tuesday morning at Tehran's Mehrabad International Airport. Qani was on hand for the repatriation of the body of Revolutionary Guard General Abbas Nilfaroshan in Iran. Nilfaroshan was killed in an Israeli airstrike that killed Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah in Beirut in late September. Rumors have circulated for weeks over Qani's status in the time since the airstrike. Russia says it has seized one more settlement in Ukraine's Zaporizhia region, while Ukraine reported on the same day repelling multiple Russian attacks on the front lines. The Russian Ministry of Defense said over the past 24 hours, Russian army groups had killed and wounded Ukrainian troops, destroyed Ukrainian armored vehicles, armored personnel carriers, howitzers, ammunition depots, and other equipment and facilities. The Russian tactical air, missile, and artillery forces had attacked the Ukrainian forces and equipment concentrations in 119 regions, the ministry said. Meanwhile, the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces reported 107 battles in the front lines since Monday. As the race to the White House heats up, U.S. Vice President and Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris warned American voters against a second Trump term. Addressing a campaign rally in Pennsylvania, Harris said she believed that Trump coming to power would be a huge risk for America, citing Trump's threats to use the U.S. military against the enemy within, including left-wingers.
We'll win. We will win. We will win.
Taiwan detected a record 153 Chinese military aircraft around the island as China held a day of large-scale military drills. Beijing deployed fighter jets, drones, warships and Coast Guard boats to encircle Taiwan on Monday. Taiwan responded by placing its outlying islands on heightened alert and dispatched forces in the area. Taiwan condemned China's actions as irrational and provocative, and the US called them unwarranted. South Korea's military has said that North Korea has blown up sections in inter-Korean roads and rail lines on its side of the heavily fortified border between the two Koreas. The Joint Chiefs of Staff said that at around midday, some northern parts of the roads and rail lines connected to the south were blown up. In response, South Korea's military fired warning shots south of the military demarcation line dividing the neighbors. The Joint Chiefs of Staff further said that the North has already been installing landmines and barriers along the border and was seen on Monday doing additional work with heavy equipment. As King Charles and Queen Camilla make their way to Australia, the first monarchs to do so in over 10 years, the Australian Republic movement has put in motion a campaign for Australians to consider what role a ruling British king plays in 2024 and beyond. Co-chair of the group said that it was initiating discussions between Australians and the Labour government about a republic referendum during the royal visit from October 18th to 26th, which could put it on the agenda for the next term of government in 2025. Australians voted against cutting ties with the monarchy in a referendum back in 1909, but there have been repeated calls for another ballot. Suicide bombers dressed as women in burqas stormed a northwestern Pakistani district police office, killing 3 policemen and a civilian before police shot and killed all 5 attackers. Provincial police chief said the attack on the complex, which houses both the district police headquarters and a residential complex, lasted for hours before the potential suicide bombers were killed. Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, in a statement, claimed responsibility for the attack. The attack comes as Islamabad is under strict security lockdown ahead of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit. India has expelled 6 Canadian diplomats, and these are top diplomats in India, which includes the acting High Commissioner Stuart Ross Wheeler, the Deputy High Commissioner and 4 First Secretaries. Earlier in the day, it had recalled its High Commissioner and key diplomats from Canada, and this after they were named as persons of interest in the killing of Khalistani separatist leader Hardeep Singh Nijjar. He was gunned down by masked men outside a Gurdwara in British Columbia in June last year. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau accused Indian diplomats of engaging in activities that he said posed a significant threat to public safety. A Amid the diplomatic row between India and Canada, the US State Department has announced that an Indian inquiry committee will visit Washington, D.C. today to probe alleged involvement of an Indian government official in foiled plot to assassinate Indian designated pro-Khalistani terrorist Gurpatwant Singh Pannu. The Indian Meteorological Department has issued red alert for October 16th and an orange alert for October 15th and 17th in various parts of Tamil Nadu. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has directed the authorities to declare a holiday for schools and colleges. The Weather Department said that a low pressure area formed over the southeast Bay of Bengal on Monday at around 5:30 a.m. local time is expected to intensify into a well-marked low pressure area. This system is likely to move northwards towards northern Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and southern Andhra Pradesh coasts over the next 2 days. Google has made a landmark deal to purchase power from multiple small modular reactors, marking the first corporate agreement of its kind. The tech giant will buy 500 megawatts of electricity from 6 or 7 reactors, which are smaller than typical nuclear plants. The agreement is with Kairos Power, with plans for its first reactor to be operational by 2030 and more to follow by 2035. While financial details and plant locations remain undisclosed, a spokesperson emphasized that nuclear energy could play a key role in meeting Google's rising power needs, especially with the growing demands of artificial intelligence. This year, several tech companies have also turned to nuclear power as AI increases their energy requirements. Adobe has launched a new model called Firefly that allows users to generate video from text prompts. Facing much larger rivals like OpenAI and Meta, Adobe has staked its future on building models trained on data that it has rights to use, ensuring the output can be legally used in commercial work. It is aiming to make Firefly practical for everyday users by video creators and editors, with a special focus on making the footage blend in with conventional footage. The California-based Adobe will start opening up the tool to people who have signed up for its waiting list. However, the company has not given a general release date yet. A groundbreaking AI-powered system is being used in Shanghai residential complex to combat high-rise littering. The monitoring system uses multiple AI algorithms to quickly pinpoint the source of the littering act. The algorithm captures the thrown objects and generates a warning picture and video at the same time. The system then sends warning signals to relevant staff members to deal with it promptly. The advanced technology includes a smart trigger mechanism which ensures privacy while effectively monitoring for potential hazards. A groundbreaking AI-powered system is being used in a Shanghai residential complex to combat high-rise littering. The monitoring system uses multiple The dodo may have gone extinct in the 17th century, but at the Cambridge Museum of Zoology in England, it's back and it's talking. The museum now allows visitors to interact with the dodo's skeleton through artificial intelligence technology. Using their smartphones, guests can chat with the extinct bird, which responds naturally to questions from casual greetings to how it disappeared after sailors reached its native Mauritius. It even tackles ethical topics such as whether it would want to be brought back to life through cloning.
The task is fraught with complexity. Why not resurrecting the past?
China's latest bout of stimulus may help stabilize the country's property crisis, but investors should position for the end of the economy's boom years. This is according to the investment chief of Australia's largest pension fund. He said the economy's annual growth rates of near 9% were in the past. He was instead expecting still not too bad numbers, starting with 4 or 5. China's unveiled a raft of stimulus measures, including a massive package to shore up its beleaguered property market. Markets are watching for further stimulus from China, with investors hopeful the government will deliver on its promise. Tokyo Metro is raising $2.3 billion after the company priced shares at the top of the marketed range. This is in a show of hot demand for Japan's biggest listing in 6 years. The company expects to list shares in Tokyo on the 23rd of October. The IPO is Japan's biggest since SoftBank's $21 billion listing in December 2018. IPOs in Japan have raised $1.6 billion this year, and Tokyo Metro's listing, combined with other deals, which could lift that figure closer to the $4.4 billion raised in all last year. The US dollar is perched at an over 2-month high against major currencies. That's mostly spurred by wagers that the Federal Reserve will proceed with modest rate cuts in the near term. A string of US data has shown the economy to be resilient and slowing only modestly. While inflation in September rose slightly more than expected, traders are now ascribing an 89% chance of a 25 BPS cut in November, with 45 of easing overall priced in for the year. Global sales of fully electric and plug-in hybrid vehicles rose by an annual 30.5% in September as China surpassed its record numbers recorded in August and Europe resumed growth. Gains in the US market have been slow and steady in anticipation of the November 5th election, which makes it difficult to predict future trends in the country. EVs, whether fully electric or plug-in hybrids sold worldwide, reached 1.69 million in September.